we believe that there's some kind of a working relationship there, and obviously we've all been born into different castes, and most likely if you're watching this, you're at the bottom, and we're at the bottom too, and so the goal becomes, the question really becomes, it's like,
Let's climb that shit. How do we do
yeah,
it? Let's get
how do
on
we
it.
how do we access this knowledge? How do we empower ourselves? And basically, how do we become more illuminated, more godlike, more less animal, less basic, and how do we transcend caste?
Number one, don't worry. Don't
Well,
stress.
There's obviously a lot to worry about when you just realize how messed up this all is.
Oh yeah, it's freaky. It's pretty fucking freaky. It's pretty messed up and seemingly unbalanced and terrifying. Like you're basically like in prison and. But I don't know. I think not worrying or not, like you got to have peace of mind. So finding yourself inside, like not stressing about it, is probably the first step to getting it together to do action, because you don't want to be blindly making actions running on like pure emotional dilemma.
Well, obviously, there's been people too in the past, like Aleister Crowley, who have gained access to a lot of this esoteric information and attempted to disseminate it to the public. And one of the things that he said was, "Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will."
Love.
So,
For all you lovers out there, and I just have to call it because it's on the screen. What the fuck, Quack? I got like 5 eyes.
who the fuck is that?
That's my girl right there.
One of the 4 watching.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the 400 watching.
4 today, 400 tomorrow, 4,000 by the end of the year. You could use that stand if it helps.
It's fine. So basically, the premise is that we all have the capacity to become enlightened, and we all have the capacity to be illuminated. We all have the capacity to become rulers, but that requires us to find ways to. We're kind of stuck with the karma we have. So it's like, how do we deal with the conditions of our birth and rearrange them to achieve more favorable outcomes, I guess you could say.
Quit being a dick. Don't fester more negative karma for yourself. Don't abuse the blessings you have, despite how hard it, may be to find or admire those.
Well, stop looking outside of yourself for answers so much.
Yeah, fuck what the TV or what your like friends are trying to tell you should be.
Yeah, and achieving wealth, achieving fame, people, relationships.
Yeah, what
all
are you gonna
that aren't really the answer here. A lot of this is.
Tons of famous people are puppets and slaves. Like maybe they got fame and money, but that don't make them happy. That don't make them any smarter.
Well,
necessarily.
I think a lot of it is lost in just the process of pursuing fame. I mean, obviously, not everybody who becomes famous is like spent a lot of energy and time trying to. Sometimes it happens by chance, but a lot of people, that's the kind of end game. And then when they reach that point, it's like, then what? Then what do I do with my life? That really didn't work out the way that I thought it would work out.
Then they develop a drug or sex addiction. And
well, I think that's why a lot of these people who are the rulers in this caste, they're as much stuck in their caste and in their class as we are. And so little things that we do, like we can just go outside and take a piss anywhere we want, say there's no cops around. Something like that they can't do.
Yeah, it'll
That's a
ruin
sex
their
offense right there.
reputation.
But not only that, it's just like class becomes like this kind of lens that you kind of experience the world through and see the world through, and it doesn't necessarily lend itself to freedom very well. So it's like, how do we go about empowering ourselves through the use of ancient knowledge? And one of these things would be Kundalini. And the premise...
Kunda who?
Kunda.
Yeah, let me get some of them.
I'm okay. So basically, we have a chakra system. We have our root, our sacral, our solar plexus. We got heart, throat, third eye, and crown.
Oh.
And
Siete.
I mean, you can look at these like they're parts of your body, or you could look at them like maybe they're psychic energy systems. But it's like, how do we go from like living in more of our basic bodily functions to really living more in our heart, and bettering our speech and opening our eyes and becoming our highest self, and
Balancing them all. All them chakras.
that's the process of Kundalini. It's like, are we gonna live on this planet being run by our instincts, or are we going to heighten our level of perception? Are we going to empower ourselves to become sacred beings? And we really need to be conscious of this, because a lot of this is just we're kind of just being prodded like sheep. It's like, drink Coke, vote for Hillary, vote for Trump, go to McDonald's.
Yeah, and all that
you
stuff
need this
keeps
new
you.
car.
All of that keeps you. Yeah, it's just distractions and keeps you stupid. Like especially soda pop. That's like corn syrup. Slows down your brain. That's them controlling you. Drugs inside of your dead cows. That's them controlling you. It's all illusion. So it's like, while you're fighting over it's just turning us against our own brothers and sisters, like trying to compete with each other when we're at the bottom of the fucking pit together. Even if one of us makes $10 a year and the other makes like 70 grand or something, 100 grand, we're still kind of like, we're down there being fucking disillusioned.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's in our food. Like, drugs are in our food. Like,
I'm probably eating some right now.
It's like, what do you know about aspartame? What do you know about sweeteners? What do you know about, the way MSG affects your brain? That shit lights you up. Cheese lights you up.
And if you don't believe it, because I know I have a lot of friends and family that's like, oh, that's just crazy talk. You just read that on the internet. People that are afraid to
science.
Yeah, it's science. Like, it can be scary to kind of tune into this stuff if you don't feel like you're ready to, but you're gonna have to at some point, because you don't. If you're lying to yourself, you're never gonna be able to feel that a fuller potential of what your capabilities really are.
Well, it's like, why does that food taste so good? It's like, why does that aspartame do what it does to you? Like, why does that MSG make everything?
I don't know, but I need more.
Well, it's because like aspartame is what it's called, mimics aspartate, which is a neurotransmitter going on in your brain right now.
Boost your serotonin.
MSG, monosodium glutamate mimics glutamine mimics glutamate, which is also a natural occurring transmitter in your brain. So basically, technically speaking,
you're addicted.
These are drugs. Yeah, they're putting drugs in your food, and that's why you crave it. That's why you want more of it. That's why fast food businesses are so successful. That's why we have the obesity problems that we have.
Even your fucking water, fluoride.
Fluoride
kills
fluoride's a good
for your
example.
brain.
Yeah.
What all this stuff that's hard to believe with life beyond the physical plane, beyond your body, beyond oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead because I don't exist anymore. That's even killed off by what they put in the tap water, fluoride, blocking your third eye, your
Oh, absolutely, Tom. Your pineal gland.
yeah, your penis gland,
Your penis gland.
pineal gland.
Your penis chakra. So anyways, I came across this interesting Reddit article. It's about there's this particle collider in Switzerland. Basically, it's like a huge particle collider. Some of it even goes into France. It's like 27 kilometers in diameter or something like that.
Is this the one they were trying to recreate the Big Bang
Well, basically on paper,
on a molecular scale?
on paper, they're using it to try to smash, subatomic particles into each other, and trying to find the smallest particles that they can detect. And so a lot of this is, about the famed God particle that is supposed to explain all the answers.
They're trying to find the Buddha particle
Of the universe, basically. And
the ultimate knowledge. Tara Sneed.
But what people have been talking about is that that isn't really why what these colliders are doing for CERN. And
So what's the word on the street of why they're doing this? Trying to
if you look up,
shape.
just type it in
natural flow.
CERN, type that into Google, and see what kind of images come out. And it's pretty interesting what the logo for this company looks like. Can you pull that up there, Tom?
Yeah, CERN.
Yeah.
CERN. Let's get concerned about CERN.
Yeah, go to images. All right, even right there.
Oh, that looks like a sigil of some sort.
Well, what do you see there in that logo?
This, besides the word CERN, it looks
There's
it looks
three
like nines or something. Yeah, 1, 2,
close.
3.
What is an upside? What is it? 9.
666.
Well, yeah. What the fuck is that? So, this
Yeah,
is what it
1.
looks like, and
This reminds me of my anti-existence days.
notice that the similarity here to Shiva the Destroyer.
Oh, nice.
Shiva the Destroyer. They're doing the dance of Shiva here.
That's so funny. You know what's weird about like the collective unconscious? Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but like if you've seen like the Curse of the Death Cat, like I was genuinely trying to destroy the universe, and part of that we were talking about like an atom splicer, and then it was around that time my friend was telling me like his dad was involved in what they're doing over there.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
So that's I think that's just like an interesting thing of like collective unconscious, and also like manifesting. Why it's careful. You have to be careful what you manifest, what your intentions are. Like having negative, destructive, I want to destroy the universe stuff. That I think that actually causes some damage.
Well, I think this knowledge has been around, and this knowledge can be tapped into, and it comes from ancient times. But what they're doing with this basically is it's not a particle collider. You want to think more of you've seen a movie Stargate?
I need to see it again. I remember the show, but I know the movie. They're like at the pyramids, and they're like, yeah.
Well, do you know what the Stargate is?
It's the portal.
It's
to
a
like
portal.
other worlds, other dimensions, or galaxies.
It's a portal, and that's exactly what this is. It's a portal.
So they're trying to create a artificial Stargate.
Oh, they have, yeah. And,
Yeah,
basically, what they've done is open the gates of hell, and they've had some pretty interesting things photographed over this collider when it's on, to say the least.
You think we could pull up some images of that?
Yeah, let's try to pull it up.
So,
say CERN, maybe gates of hell, or
just cut to the chase.
yeah. See, it's already coming up right there.
Well, these are.
Yeah, those are.
Edited.
Go down more. I know I've seen some
Should we
videos
trust
of
Alex
it.
Jones now? I wonder how these photographs would leak. Here, I'll just type in images or photographs.
Say plasma.
CERN plasma Photographs?
Yeah. And basically, one of the interesting things that
Yeah, I don't
they
see
do
nothing.
at CERN before they fire up the collider is
They do a ritual.
all the scientists. Yeah, they do a ritual.
Dear
and
Satan.
and they have it filmed too, and it's like this opera, and they dance in patterns like you would see Shiva dancing, and it's kind of peculiar if all these well-intentioned scientists why they have these weird rituals that they're not trying to hide, that you can find with the search engine that you can watch. It's like why.
Here we go. CERN
does-
agenda exposed.
It doesn't look like they're really trying to hide anything.
So you think the end is nigh, or like why are they not trying to hide anything anymore?
Well, basically, they're trying to send messages to other people who know the knowledge that they know, and this portal that they've opened. I mean, I don't. It's your guess is as good as mine. What the end game is here.
I don't believe in the end. A friend once told me that I've come to believe. I mean, for the third dimension, for this realm, but
Well, the problem is it's like a stack of papers.
infinity.
It's like all these dimensions are like a stack of paper, and we're just in one of the pieces of paper in it. So this is our dimension, you know,
Yeah.
and all these dimensions are stacked. So all they really have to do is find a way to channel enough energy to poke holes through the stack of paper.
To access any of it.
Yeah, to access any dimension they want to do. And
They still have to abide by universal law, though.
well, check this out. What is universal law? You know, like relativity.
Cause and effect.
Well, yeah, relativity says that you can't. Nothing can go faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about CERN is that
That's what they're doing is
they've
going
had
faster.
particles go faster than the speed of light. So obviously, right there already, conventionalism's just completely out the door.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always expanding and things are always changing on many levels that we regard as solid or stable to what we know. But yeah, I mean, that still is something that's frightening and concerning, because if people with a bad agenda have the ability to do this and
Well, it's
Others
just
don't.
not supposed to be possible. From what we've believed for the past, say, 100 years about, physics and relativity, that's just not supposed to be possible. And so, I don't know. There's just a lot of clues out there, and I think it's really important time for people to start accepting
the reality.
responsibility for their own lives. Yeah, I mean, not everybody's a leader. That's obvious.
Yeah, but you don't have to be to, understand love or, true happiness for yourself or people or creatures you care for.
Well, I think a lot of what the people who kind of run this planet have going for them is that, the majority of people out there kind of need to be told what to do.
Yeah, hence the
need to
word
be-
sheeple.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but you really need to question what you're following or tuning into and how it's affecting you and others around you, which I don't think people do. And, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
gotta
you
expand
even
your
look at
conscience
the-
somehow. What's
even
gonna
look at the-
captivate them?
Well, look at the traditional role religion has played throughout time. I mean, one of the main roles that it's placed is social control. So you look at a lot of these, they're like rules about, relationships, families, reproduction, livelihood, what you do, what you don't do. And so what do you think people would do if they didn't have people telling them this stuff? what would people do with their lives if they realized that they had the power to choose their own destiny? Some people would do wonderful things, but I think
some people would do horrible things.
some people wouldn't be able to handle it. And so if you look at it through the lens of your own life,
I think it's just one of those things that takes practice and time, and I think
it's a process, and definitely.
But yeah, it's a process that needs to get started, though, for people who haven't begun that journey.
Yeah, because I think the reality is that there's obviously people running and calling all the shots, and they really don't care about us, and they're really not doing a very good job about it. And so
Which
it's
in turn,
problematic.
Which I believe that any harm that they cause is causing harm to themselves in some degree, whether they don't have to face up to it now or in thousands, hundreds, millions of years. You're accountable for you're accountable for your actions. So I don't believe there's any way out of that, whether you can go beyond the speed of light or anything that's known in consciousness. Consciousness is always, even beyond consciousness, there's always, if there's nothing, there's everything. And if there's stuff in between, it all falls within and without. But I guess that's the same argument that could be used to, deconstruct it all.
Well, why do you think we were born in human bodies? How we're, why we could have been, born as an animal, or we could have been born as humans who were never even exposed to this kind of knowledge. So
we have the potential, so don't disregard it.
We have the potential to kind of transcend this kind of animal state. And that's a very important thing. That we have a chance, but first it's about realizing that and kind of getting the information out there that you have a shot to not let the conditions that are beyond your control dictate your life the whole time.
It's your life. Take control. Your life, your rules. Your life to choose.
Raise your kundalini, man.
Don't be a slave like here. You see that? Here's the people in the higher caste system whipping that's
dodo
us.
birds.
Yeah, we're the dodo birds, and we're gonna be fucking extinct if we don't fucking start getting a grasp on things here, man.
Well, you know the thing about dodo birds, right?
They're cute.
Well, the thing is, when the Dutch discovered them, that they had no natural fear of humans, so they trusted the Dutch, and then the Dutch were like, "Damn, these motherfuckers is tasty."
Yeah, sicked all their dogs and bullets on them.
From the time that they were discovered by the Dutch to the time that they went extinct, maybe the period was 50 to 100 years from first contact to
extinction.
Total extinction. That's like 50 to 100 years. Maybe, the majority of them even disappeared in the first 20 or 30 years of contact.
That's why you gotta be conscious and take a look at what you're buying into and selling yourself out to, and what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your mind, and how you're living your life. Like, if you're truly miserable, there must be something wrong.
Well, mankind are incredibly violent creatures. But I'm going to tie this into some of the things we've been talking about tonight, and we're going to be talking about the evolution of consciousness, and obviously, like we were talking about, extraterrestrials played a role in this happening.
I'm gonna